Coming up in today's full flight video from Fuerteventura to Glasgow. Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. If this looks familiar to you, it's because it maybe is. I am recording this video straight after the last one, in which we came down from Leeds Bradford Airport to here in the Canary Islands at Fuerteventura. I'm recording a video of us going straight back up, except we're not going to go back to Leeds. We're going to go up to Glasgow, so just a little bit further up into Scotland, so I'll add maybe 20 minutes onto the flight time if we're lucky. But yeah, so we're just finishing the unloading process from the last flight. Everything is exactly as it was. I know it's not common that a plane would land from one place and go to another destination after, but we're just going to assume that logistically that's what's to happen today, and we're to take this aircraft back up from here to Glasgow. So it's going to be a nice late afternoon departure out of Fuerteventura, and it will be a dark night landing into Glasgow, which we haven't done a night landing in the game yet, so it sounds good to me. Anyway, let's get straight in. As you'll see, everything is as it was, so it will take us less time to get all set up than last time. So first thing I'm going to do is we're cruising at 340 this time, and I'm also going to go to init ref, or I'm actually going to menu, and we're going to set up the fuel and payload for this flight. So fuel for this leg is going to be 14, it's 135, but since we're on AP I'll just put 14.2 in. Payload wise, we are I always never. So we're actually considerably lighter than we were on the way up. On the way down, sorry, we're 54.5, so 60% full. So what I'll just do is I will ask GSX to be in boarding. And we'll go to the FMC. We'll go to menu, FMC, we'll go to the index and go to position. Then route, we are Golf Charlie Foxtrot Victor to Echo Golf Papa Foxtrot. Oh my god, I can't speak. We're going out on runway 01, same one we just came in on. We are Chanex 138. So what I'm going to do is activate that, execute it. We'll just put in a departure, so we're out of runway 01 on the vast 5 Zulu. Execute that. What I'll just do is I'll put the arrival in now, so I don't need to come back to you guys. If it changes, obviously we will. I'll just have a quick look at the weather as well over here. That was strange, don't know why that right clicked over there. Populate from last flight. So EGPF. So at the moment we are 24088, so that would be for runway 23 anyway. There was cumulonimbus clouds in the area earlier, but there isn't anymore. Looking at the forecast, may need to change runway, but we'll see, because that's pretty much right down the middle. So we'll go with ILS 23 at the moment. As I say, I will change it if we need to and go to 05, but it looks like it's 23. In terms of the arrival, we are Black 1 Golf. I should really, being from around the area, I should really know what that actually stands for, but I don't. I'm just going to go like that. I'm going to look at that in a second, but anyway, we'll put in the performance. So let's also work out a reserve quickly. Only 1.8 on the reserves this time, but that is due to our alternate airport being Edinburgh, which is very close. We'll just go with 15 on the cost index again. I'm actually going to see if we can cruise a little bit higher. or if it has us planning step climbing, because I don't think we'll need to cruise this low. We'll go with 340. We'll just stick with 340 just because we've loaded the fuel up accordingly. So we'll just stick with 340. Transition altitude I think is 5,000 here. We'll execute that. N1 limit, I'll do it. We'll bump it to a takeoff 1. Flaps 5 as always. Put the trim to 5.9. Had quite a high trim as we came into land there. That'll do it. 141, 142, 150, and it is dry here, so that's fine. In terms of runway heading, it's 005. We're already on the flight directors, so I'm just going to switch them off to reset the master, because they're both shown as master at the moment. So left flight director, right flight director, LNAV, VNAV, excellent. Auto brake to RTO. That's fine. We can reset this clock. We will reset that clock. There we go. Let's just have a little quick look at the arrival. I think the baggage will still be loading, yeah it is, so we can just have a quick look at the arrival at the moment. Let's go to plan, zoom that out, let's just go to the last page, because sometimes it has a strange approach, which is not really overly strange because of where we're coming in from, so that's absolutely fine. Ideally we would have had a runway 05 arrivals, it would have been easier if you want to say, but it's fine. So yeah, that actually looks okay to me. So we can go back to the map and we'll just zoom this in all the way for takeoff. Put on traffic, we'll put terrain back on. This is all stuff we just turned off, but it's absolutely fine. What I'm going to say to GSX is to prepare us for pushback and departure for when it's finished loading the bags. I'm going to put the window heats all on and the probe heats back on. Seatbelt signs can come on. I'll turn the engine bleeds off. Leave the packs on for the moment. Again, I think I asked this in the last video. I'm not entirely sure that the packs do very much without the air conditioning unit connected, but again, it is what it is. So yeah, just a couple more bags for them to load. And then we'll be back on our way up to Glasgow this time. I haven't flown to Glasgow in the sim, it's not actually my local airport, but it's the local airport in terms of international flights, really, to me. So it's been a while since I've flown up there, and I used to fly mostly there. So yeah, I just thought we'll just go back up there and we'll go to Glasgow this time. You've seen Edinburgh. I think you've seen Glasgow in my videos once before, twice, once, maybe just once. I think actually been to Edinburgh, but yeah, we'll go back to Glasgow for the second time in the channel. Why not? Interesting that the doors are closed for the cargo base here. I've actually just noticed that. Very realistic from this guy here. He's doing a great job. He's only got one more cart to load. I think this guy looks like he's maybe just about done. But yeah, this is the MK Studios Fuerteventura. Looks like it's got an interior terminal, which is nice, always nice. But yeah, it looks nice. The weather, I am so jealous of the weather. I wish I was here in real life. But alas, we're not. We've just got to live with it. I'm aware I'm rambling, but I don't want to cut the video when we're so close to being ready to go. I want you to get the full experience on this full flight. So according to SimBrief, we are going to be in the air for 4 hours and 22 minutes. So if you remember that, as long as I remember to set the clock when we take off, we'll see how accurate that actually is. Obviously if we end up changing to runway 05 for example, it's probably going to go down a little bit. Not entirely sure how likely that is, but nonetheless. So just the final few bags are on at the front, and then that is us good to start heading down. Usually I'd be at this point saying let's start the APU and things, but obviously it's already on. The other thing I've always wondered, which I could just Google but I haven't, is the brake temperatures here. Like, what does the number mean? What does 1.6 mean? I want to say 10 is as high as it goes. That would be like really bad. So obviously me leaving the parking brake on and not putting the chocks on won't exactly help, but let's just hope we don't have to do a rejected takeoff then, eh? In terms of initial altitude actually, let's just go to our good old 12,000 feet and hopefully I don't forget about it this time. Landing altitude, we could do that as well while we wait for GSX to get itself sorted. So let me go to my charts on my other screen. And then I need to flights, unload, import flight from SimBrief. There we go. So Glasgow. I should know this off by heart, but I don't. "26 feet above the sea." So get to leave it as it was as well. Can't even change that. Wow. Anyway, that's GSX getting itself all set up now, so we get the benefit of going. So what I'll do is we will fire the anti-collision light on. All the fuel pumps can come on. Pro peats are already on. The packs can come off in preparation for engine start. Here it gets all nice and quiet. Go to the engine page. We'll go to the climb page on this side, FMC wise, and again we don't have any altitude restrictions that are going to prevent us climbing. It's just above altitudes, which is always good. Straight up 340. And we're going to go right. The parking brakes are coming off. I'm just deleting some of those altitude restrictions on the approach because they're not needed, and we're not on ATC, and I just like a nice smooth descent down all the way down to 2,900. Anyway, so we're pushing back now so we can start the engine, starting number 1. You can see the EGT is already high because obviously we've already had the engines on. So that's why the exhaust gas temperature is so high. Waiting for 25% as always. There it is, and goes the fuel. So there's starter cutout. We'll go with engine number 1. I forgot the block time again. Damn. Started anyway. We will set the parking brakes for her. And goes the fuel. We'll just tell GSX we're good.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
Looks like a good start, just about. There we go. So that's 2 good starts. And the engine is just stabilising. GSX lets us go nice and smooth. So starter switches can go to continuous. We can flick over to the engine generators. APU can come off. Hydraulics can come on, packs can come on to auto, bleeds can all come on, APU bleed can come off, taxi light on, and we can do control check and flaps 5. And there's the flaps all down, slats down as well. Our little guy giving us a little wave, and we can be on our way. So there goes the parking brake off. And ideally we can just turn here to head down towards the runway. So it's a relatively long taxi down to this runway, so what I'll do is I will join you guys once we get back to the end of the runway. So after a little bit of a delay there, because something cropped up for a minute in real life, we can enter the runway and get ready for takeoff. So we can fire all the lights on, put the strobe light on. It just had a phone call to take there, which is always ideal. Nice little bit of lag there, love to see it. We can arm the auto throttle. Look at the size of this display threshold. Wow. Anyway, 40%. Here we go. That's stable and take off. And start the clock. Wait.
Airspeed's alive. 80 knots.
That's checked.
Rotate. V2.
Rotating before the touchdown zone. Oh, interesting. There goes the gear. Wow. LNAV, VNAV speed. Start that turn. Ooh. The wind's all over the place. Let's climb thrust. Flaps 1. flaps up. We'll go Command A. Have a little look at the wings. Let's try and get a screenshot. There we go, lovely. So we can do our after takeoff flow. So the auto brake can come off, landing gear can come off, start switch can come off, the retractable lights can come off, the turn offs, taxis, the logo light can come off for now. And yeah, set standard pressure, and we are up and away, as they would say. So yes, expecting a nice sunset, hopefully if I am available to do so, and if I remember, I'll try and get the cruise shots as the sun's going down, because I imagine that'll look quite nice. So I'll not bore you with any more of this, because there's no interesting weather to see, it's mostly just the sea as well. But I will see you guys once we're in the descent into Glasgow. And if the runway changes, I'll just do that myself beforehand, so just not to bore you guys, because the last video was quite long, I do know that. But yeah, I'll be going to Glasgow. I'll try and, if I remember, to do some cruise shots in the sunset. If I forget, then there probably isn't any cruise shots, because you'll not see anything if it's night. But anyway, I'll see you, or I'll speak to you in the descent. Hello everybody and welcome back. We're in the descent into Glasgow. 4 hours and 21 minutes on the clock. I can't remember what it was meant to be at the beginning, so you can reference that and see if it's been accurate. Descending into what looks like a pretty horrible night in Glasgow. I know we can't see anything out the window because it's so dark, but if I get the METAR for you, wind-wise, to be fair, wind-wise, it's died right down. It's only 3 knots and it's pretty much right across the runway. But we've got rain, broken clouds at 4,000, 4,900 and towering cumulus as well. And it is only 5 degrees despite it being the 12th of April today. 5 degrees Celsius. Just as we come through the clouds then, we're going to put the anti-ice on for the engines, just since it is -5 and there is a lot of precipitation. In terms of setting up for the arrival, transition level 7,000, so that's already set in. It's going to be 0987, and our minimums is going to be 121 on the barrel, so scroll down to 121. There we go. And we're just at 11,000 feet at the moment. It's an interesting approach into Glasgow. You get quite close to some terrain just off to the northeast of the runway, or the approach. I think, just having a look at it, the highest peak on the terrain's 1,800 feet, and you typically come in over it 2,900, so yeah, you get relatively close. It can be quite unnerving if you've not seen it before. You can see we're well into the soup already with the lights there. I put the wing lights on so that you can actually see something out the window. If I was to turn them off, I'll show you what it looks like. Yeah, if I turn them off you can't see anything. Maybe I'll leave it like that. It's quite a cool effect with the strobes flashing in the soup. So we come to 10,000 anyway, we can put the lights on. I'll just fire everything on. That wasn't the lights going out, that was just a terrible effect from switching between in the clouds and not. So yeah. In terms of the approach then, we can put the init ref page, flaps 30, and it's 1101. So 110.1. Put that to active and put it on both sides. There we go. Just see the lights of the city coming into view. Horrible evening. We'll go with auto brake 2. Apologise, I'll just put the pressure to 987 now. It's going to bleed off the descent, but that's absolutely fine. It means we can have a lovely wing view as we turn left over towards the main city. There we go. So you've got the wind farms over here, that's all those red lights. I know it can be hard to see at night, that's why I typically don't do many night landings or videos, but just so happens that that's what will happen on this video. Back into the clouds. It is a lovely effect, that. See the wind bouncing about as well. So as you can see, it's quite a steep turn onto final here, but as far as I'm aware, that's how it's done in real life. You can see from the ND here why the terrain may be unnerving as it starts coming, because it's just right on the edge of where the waypoint is to turn onto final. We'll set the starter switches to continuous. We've got this the door warning on. Left forward, I have no idea why it's come on, but I'm just going to ignore it. You can see that's the rain. What a horrible evening. Although you have to say the light reflecting off the bottom of the wing, just from the light pollution of the city, does look immense. So we're just come up to a decel point, we'll probably go flaps 1 there. And there's a decel point, so we'll go flaps 1. Go. Or ever so slightly. Looks like it's, in fact, it looks like it's going to be near perfect for grabbing the glide slope. Same drag required, but we don't need the drag. Zoom in the range. Alarm the localizer. Back into the rain. Horrible. You would not believe it's meant to be spring. Just gonna still waiting to grab, there we go, grab the localizer now, and we'll make that turn round. With that I'll grab approach, because we will be pretty close to the localizer, or the glide slope. Or to be fair, it's fell away a little bit. So just going to go flaps 5 as we come round. Flaps 5 is set. Nothing to see out the window at all because it's horrible. Just about to get the glide slope. You can see the wind's pretty much straight across. So just double check. I'll put the taxi light on for when the nose gear comes down. Ding the cabin. Continue to leave the engine anti-ice on just due to the just to the weight, the rain. There we go. So we are 7 DME. It's 6.5, we'll go gear down and flaps 15. So what I'll do is bring the speed back to 155. We'll go gear down Flaps 15. We'll set final approach speed, which is 145. Just starting to come out the clouds now, hopefully. There we go, there's the runway there. With that, flaps 30. Was maybe a little bit late on the flaps there with the speed, but it's okay. Look at that, that looks amazing. And with that, we'll go autopilot off and I'll do it myself.
1,000.
Speed brakes armed as well. I really need to remove that pause bind. Oh, interesting what's just happened with the throttles there. Despite it not being too windy, it's very blustery. It's going from nothing to up to 8 knots. So it's fairly blustery. Got a lot of sink in there, just we lost the speed a wee bit there as you can see, so I've just sunk out the sky a wee bit there. Nothing we can't correct. Again, speed. It's amazing how much the speed decreasing just destroys your altitude. Maybe a little bit high.
300.
It's challenging keeping that speed for some reason.
200.
Maybe a little bit high. Can be hard to tell.
Approaching minimums. 100. Minimums.
Landing.
30. 20.
Oh.
10.
There we go, we're down. Maximum reverse because it's wet. Reverser stowed, and we'll come off at this high speed exit here. Welcome to Glasgow. For some reason for me the lights on the aircraft don't do very much. In terms of they don't light the ground up a lot. Anyway, we'll bring the speed brakes in. Auto brake can come off. We'll stop that clock there as well. So 4 hours and 37 minutes in the sky. Start the APU. All the lights can come off. And what we'll do is we'll fire on those lights there. What I'll ask GSX to do is gate 34. Now because this is my local airport, I actually know what the gates are, which is always promising. Don't need to follow me. And I think it's Menzies that serve Glasgow. I'll make the turn round over here. So there's 33, where the next one. There's 34. We'll park up next to the 2A 737 MAX. A little bit too far forward, but that's okay. Parking brakes on. Flick the power over to the APU. Fuel cut-offs to cut off. We'll put the dome light on just so we can see what we're doing. So we can do fuel pumps off. Seatbelt signs can come off. Engine anti-ice, I could have turned that off a while ago. Hydraulics off, probe heats off, window heats off, and APU bleed on. And anti-collision light off. And with that, we can request deboarding. Now it's British Airways that's doing the handling for whatever reason. No, just... yeah, welcome to Glasgow. I think we're going to need to request the jetway ourselves through ground services. Oh. There we go. Get the jetway connected up. Oh, I also forgot to do the block time, which was just 4 hours 50, we'll say. So yeah, all parked up. Right on the yellow line as well. I mean, look at that. That couldn't be any more in the middle. And yeah, passengers will get off after their holiday to Fuerteventura. Just curious to see what it looks like if I go inside the airport. This is Pyreegue, Glasgow, so it looks it's got great detail modelling. There we go. Yeah, look at that. WH Smith. Anyway, thanks very much everybody for watching the video. As always, if you've got any suggestions, you can let me know and we'll do our best to accommodate them. But in the meantime though, I hope you have a lovely day guys, and thanks very much for watching the video. See you next time.